Right, top 5 cities in Europe for nightlife. Which cities are they? All will be revealed in this video. Now, many cities in Europe do have good nightlife, especially the big ones, and also many historic cities with nice old towns have good nightlife as well, because you'll find lots of pubs, bars, clubs, restaurants in those historic old towns. But today I am going to give you my top 5 favourite cities in Europe for nightlife. Now, of course, I've not been to every single city and town in Europe, so I can't judge every single place, but I've been to a fair amount of major destinations in Europe, so I can give you all a pretty decent view out of the 30 countries in Europe that I've been to so far. Now, before I do reveal my top 5, I will give you some honourable mentions. The first one being Riga. Riga is very lively at the weekend. You've got lots of bars and clubs in the old town, lots of pubs. You can clearly see why it's a good city chosen for stag and hen parties. Also, another honourable mention, basically any major city in Portugal or Spain, you know, so Lisbon, Porto, Barcelona, Granada, which is a big student city in Spain. You've got lots of big nightlife cities across Spain and Portugal. And in fact, one of my top 5 cities in today's list is actually from Spain, so do keep your eyes peeled for that one. You'll also find very good nightlife in many major Polish cities too. You find lots of pubs, lots of bars, lots of clubs, very vibrant cities. And in fact, again, one of my top 5 cities is actually from Poland. Now, another honourable mention would be the 2 major cities in Greece, so Thessaloniki, Athens. This is Thessaloniki in this clip here, and then in this clip here, this is Athens. Both cities are very vibrant at night, lots of bars, restaurants, cocktail bars, nightclubs. And actually, one place that did shock me for nightlife was Tirana, Albania. I was shocked even here on a Tuesday night in this clip here, how busy the pubs and bars and cocktail bars all were. So maybe Tirana is a potential option for you if you are looking for an alternative nightlife destination. Now, also, a lot of people do like Berlin for nightlife, and it's definitely true that you can pretty much go out pretty much every day of the week. But Berlin does have a particular scene, and it really does depend on whether you're into that scene or not. And if you are into that scene, then you'll love it. And if you're not into that scene, you probably won't love it. Right, so let's get into my top 5 list of nightlife cities in Europe right now. But very quickly before we do that, make sure you do go to the description of this video, because I do have links to lots of products that you may be interested in. For example, that top link is a link to a website where you can make money online as a side hustle. There's a link to where you can get an eSIM. There's a link to where you can get travel insurance. Also a link to the Skyscanner website where you can book your flights. If you do use that Skyscanner link, I do get a small commission from that. No extra cost to you, so do consider using that link. It does help me out. I've got all my socials here as well, so you can subscribe to my TikTok, my Instagram. So do consider going to the description, and also I'll drop the links in the comment section too. 2 links there that I really do recommend. The level 8 luggage link. You can buy really high quality bags and luggage on that website there, so do use that link. And also Surfshark VPN, the world's best VPN provider. Especially if you're traveling, you do need to protect your devices, so Surfshark does that, and you can also change your virtual location on it too. Right, so now it's time to get into the official top 5 list. In no particular order, we're going to start with number 1, and the first city in my list is Belgrade in Serbia. Now, the funny thing is that I didn't really go out and party in Belgrade. I had a meal out, had a walk around the city at night, and it was really, really vibrant. I've heard that the nightlife scene in terms of the clubbing scene there is really good as well, but it was really, really vibrant. I was very impressed with just how many people are about enjoying themselves, even on a weekday night. The city centre really did come alive. I do hope that sometime soon I can go back to Belgrade and actually experience the nightlife firsthand, because last time I was too ill to do that. But from what I saw and from what everyone else who's been to Belgrade says, it is a very good city for nightlife, so it definitely does make my top 5 in this list. Oh, and if you are going to go to Belgrade, eat the meat. The meat is fantastic. And go to Skadalia as well, the Skadalia neighbourhood too. Now, the next city in the list is going to be Budapest, Hungary. Now, what I like about Budapest nightlife is all of the ruin bars, these very quirky, big bars with lots of different rooms, lots of different vibes and atmospheres and music types. Now, the famous ruin bar in Budapest is called Zimplakert. It's really big, massive, lots of different rooms, lots of different atmospheres. It is very touristy though, so you will be paying tourist price in there, so it's not cheap. But you can go there. It's still a nice place to go out. You've got lots of other pubs, bars, cocktail bars, nightclubs. You can even go on boat parties on the River Danube as well. If you go to the description, I've put a link to where you can book one in the description of the video. And also on a Saturday night, you can go to the famous Sparty party at the Szczecin thermal baths. Now, I didn't go. It is very expensive, and from what I've heard, it isn't that great, but you may want to check it out. Now, I did actually go to the Szczecin thermal baths during the day, and to be honest with you, I wasn't that impressed. It was very overcrowded, didn't feel very clean, so maybe you want to skip that one, but you may want to go to Sparsy on a Saturday night. My recommendation would be just go out in the city centre, stay on the Pest side of the city, so on the eastern side of the river, and there's lots of bars, ruin bars, everything that you need is there. And now, so the third city in this list of top 5 nightlife destinations in Europe is going to be Madrid, the capital of Spain. Now, Madrid, again, it's one of those cities where you can just go out pretty much every day of the week, and there are going to be busy places if you know where to go. I mean, you've got everything you could ask for. You've got pubs, you've got tapas bars, you've got dive bars, you've got cocktail bars, rooftop bars, you've got clubs, you've got super clubs. You've got a big one in the city centre called Teatro Capital, and you've also got a big warehouse club on the outskirts of Madrid called Fabric. You've got small venues, big venues, medium-sized venues. Now, the thing you've got to be aware of, though, when you do go to Madrid or anywhere else in Spain is that nightlife doesn't start early there. It does start late. So if you're going to go out at 9 p.m, 10 p.m, expecting it to be really lively, busy, hectic, you're going to be disappointed. So you want to make sure you're out around 1 a.m, 2 a.m, maybe even 3 a.m. That's when it's going to be lively. That's when you're going to have a good time. So for me, Madrid has to be in the top 5 best cities for nightlife in Europe. And next in the list is Krakow in Poland. Now, Krakow doesn't have the sheer volume of venues that Madrid has. I don't think it has the range of venues that Madrid has too. But what Krakow does have is it has lots and lots of bars, lots and lots of pubs, lots and lots of clubs, and a really good time to be had, especially at the weekend. You've got affordable pubs, you've got affordable beers, affordable shots, affordable Polish vodka. You've got everything you really need. You want to start your night off by going to Banja Luka. There's a couple of Banja Luka pubs in the city centre of Krakow. Go to one of them. Cheap beers, cheap drinks, cheap everything there. Got 2 main streets for nightlife in the old town. You've got Rzewska Street and you've also got Florianska Street. Lots of pubs and bars there, but do be careful on those streets because there are some scam clubs. You do get a lot of the street hustlers out there on those 2 streets trying to get you to go into their clubs or their bars. Ignore them. They're probably going to rip you off if you go into those ones. Do your research in terms of where to go. Go onto Google, search for the right bars and clubs that you want to go to and go to those ones rather than the street ones where the guys on the street are trying to force you to go into them. Now, you can also go to the Kazimierz district of the city, the Jewish district. If you're into more dive bars, more alternative venues, you definitely get to escape the tourists if you do go to Kazimierz instead for a night out rather than the old town, because the old town really is flooded with lots of tourists all the time. Now, again, Krakow isn't a massive city, so you're not going to have the sheer volume of venues that you get in Madrid or Berlin, for example, but what you do get is you get a really fun city with lots of bars, clubs, pubs, really good atmosphere, very lively. For me, Krakow is one of the best party destinations that you can go to in Europe. So now then, we are up to the 5th and final best city in Europe for nightlife in my opinion. But do let me know in the comments if you do agree with all my cities so far. Do you agree with all 4 cities that I mentioned so far? Or maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that one of the cities that I mentioned so far isn't actually that great for nightlife when you went. So do let me know your opinions. Oh, and also make sure you do hit that thumbs up button right now. Really does help out the video. But the 5th city in the list of best nightlife cities in Europe is a bit of a controversial one because it's going to be Istanbul, Turkey. Now, before anyone gets at me, I do know that half of Istanbul is not in Europe because half's in Europe, half's in Asia. But even on the European side, I mean, look at the clips here. This is Istiklal Caddesi Street, which is kind of like the main shopping high street. On a weekday night, look how busy and vibrant it is. So this again is on the European side in the Beyoğlu Taksim district of the city. So that's where the kind of touristy nightlife is, where all the bars and clubs and pubs are. Again, like Krakow, in this district here, you do need to be careful of all the hustlers trying to get you to go into their clubs. They are quite persistent, so just ignore them. But I would say nightlife in this district is a bit more expensive because it is the tourist zone. What I recommend you do is I recommend that you go up to Beşiktaş. So Beşiktaş is a much more local experience. It's a really vibrant area of the city. Lots of people about, lots of restaurants, bars, pubs, etc., at cheaper prices than Taksim and Beyoğlu. And also, if you are bored with the European side, you can always hop over to Asia, and I recommend you go to Kadıköy. Kadıköy, again, is really like Beşiktaş actually, but just on the Asian side. So vibrant, bars everywhere, pubs everywhere, a really good time to be had over there. So for me, I do think that the best 5 cities that I've been to so far for nightlife are Madrid, Istanbul, Krakow, Budapest and Belgrade. Now, there are some other cities in Europe that I have heard have good nightlife too that I haven't been to yet. So for example, Hamburg, Milan. I've also heard that the Caucasus have good nightlife as well. So in Georgia, Tbilisi, and also Yerevan, Armenia. And in fact, whilst I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to give you a bonus city for nightlife in Europe as well. That's going to be Split, Croatia. Now, Split, Croatia is only really good for nightlife in the summer. So you've got to go peak season, July, August, September. That's really the best season to go to Split for nightlife, because that's when all the beach clubs will be open. That's when all the clubs, all the bars will be packed. Again, it's only restricted to the summer months. In the winter months, the nightlife there isn't that good. So again, as I said before, do get in the comment section. Let me know if you do agree or disagree with my list of cities. What would be your list? Let me know what would be your top 5 cities for nightlife in Europe. And perhaps you can give me some tips for nightlife in destinations that I haven't visited yet, because that will be very helpful for me. So again, I do hope that you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, hit that thumbs up button, click the like button right now, and also do subscribe to my channel for more travel content. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in my next video.